We have some very concerning updates about Caitlin Clark injury.
An Indiana Fever reporter just gave an update in a comment section on YouTube about when he expects Caitlin Clark to be back. Scott Agnes says he's replying to comments, have patience at least several more weeks.
The reporting around Caitlin Clark's injury, it is getting stranger.
Caitlin starting full court running last week. Has she been able to do anything extra since then or return to practice at all?
No return to practice.
We still don't know when she will be returning to the court.
Indiana Fever have literally just been lying to us. This is very much a concern. This is a big concern.
Caitlin Clark's injury update just shocked the WNBA, and fans have had enough of the mixed messages. From day to day to several more weeks, it's time for the truth. Drop a 100% in the comments if you're with Caitlin all the way.
We might not even see Caitlin back on the court this season, and that might actually be the best thing for her.
Is it a chance that we don't see Caitlin Clark in any more regular season games this season?
The Caitlin Clark injury timeline has become a roller coaster, and not in a good way. Right after her groin injury, the Indiana Fever listed her as day-to-day, sparking hope she'd be back soon. Then, that changed to out indefinitely, which was already concerning. But just when fans started bracing for a longer absence, the team suddenly listed her as a game-time decision for the Dallas Wings game.
Stephanie White was saying that she's not done anything with the team. Like, she's not even shooting around with the team.
Only for Coach Stephanie White to admit after practice that Caitlin hasn't even been practicing with the team.
The day after she had the groin injury, she was listed as day-to-day. And then a couple weeks after that, then she was listed to being out.
Caitlin starting full court running last week. Has she been able to do anything extra since then or return to practice at all?
No return to practice. She's been able to get a little bit more in her full court running, with her all of her body weight. It's really building up from doing minimal to then building some endurance to do longer periods of time. She's been able to do a little bit more on the court.
If that wasn't confusing enough, one of the Fever's own reporters recently claimed fans should have patience because Caitlin's return could be at least several more weeks.
Scott Agnes with the fan base for whatever reason. He stated, somebody said, Scott Agnes, I think you're wrong. Again, you think it'll be a couple more weeks before CC returns to practice. Please stop always saying negative and depressing hit about Caitlin Clark. She has been running full court consistently as reported for over a week.
Scott Agnes made on his YouTube channel, and I believe that Mick was the first one to screenshot this. And Scott Agnes was replying to someone else's comment who said, just can't wait until Cece is back. She's the most dynamic, electric player in the WNBA. Great job, Lexi. And then Scott Agnes replied and he said, have patience, at least several more weeks.
That directly contradicts the earlier optimism and throws her entire regular season availability into doubt.
An Indiana Fever reporter just gave an update in a comment section on YouTube about when he expects Caitlin Clark to be back. Well, not even when he expects Caitlin Clark to be back, when Caitlin Clark is going to be back, realistically. And I think this is very much a concern. This is a big concern.
For fans, this isn't just frustrating. It feels like a bait and switch. People are spending their hard-earned money on tickets, traveling to games, and tuning in expecting to see Caitlin Clark, the player who has single-handedly boosted WNBA attendance and viewership.
To put her as a game time decision for today's game, and then Coach Stephanie White basically coming out and saying she has done no practicing with the team.
Instead, they're getting vague updates, last-minute status changes, and zero clear communication.
They all lie. They've been lying to us all season. They've been lying to us since the beginning of the season. They lied about our offense, our pace. They lied about protecting the locker room.
The Indiana Fever have literally just been lying to us. Like, they said a month ago, they said after the scans came back that the scan, it's good when it's day to day. It's been a month.
Many now believe the game time decision label might have been more about selling tickets than reflecting her actual health status.
Y'all can't be hijacking the fans. You got people just spending money expecting to see Clark.
The WNBA and the front office thought it would be in their best interest to put on a game injury report that Caitlin Clark is a game time decision. I think they did that for ticket sales.
And when the biggest name in the league is used as a marketing tool rather than being protected and respected.
If y'all know that we're watching for Clark, then why don't y'all fucking prioritize her so you don't have to worry about us leaving?
It's no surprise that fans are speaking out.
They're just looking at it like it's Caitlin Clark fans, Caitlin Clark fans. No, it's people in general. It's not just Caitlin Clark fans.
On ESPN, the Caitlin Clark's doing full court sprinting. The Caitlin Clark has been sprinting since July. So clearly there's something. If she's gone from full court sprinting and she can't even shoot with the team.
When you step back from the injury updates and look at the bigger picture, the Caitlin Clark situation starts to raise some uncomfortable questions. Why are the Indiana Fever and parts of the WNBA media sending such mixed signals? And why does it feel like her timeline is being stretched and reshaped week by week? Let's be honest. Caitlin Clark isn't just another rookie. She's the face of the league, the reason attendance records are falling, and the driving force behind skyrocketing TV ratings. Every time she's on the court, arenas sell out. Every time she's on TV, numbers spike.
We might not even see Caitlin back on the court this season, and that might actually be the best thing for her.
Is it a chance that we don't see Caitlin Clark in any more regular season games this season?
She's a business asset, not just a basketball player. And that's exactly why some believe the Fever might be managing her status as much for marketing purposes as for medical ones. Here's what doesn't add up. If the team truly knew she would be out for several weeks, why list her as a game-time decision just days ago? That kind of label sends a very clear signal to fans. She might play. Better buy a ticket. And when those tickets are sold, but Caitlin doesn't even step on the court, it's not just disappointing. It feels deceptive. Then there's the question of fit and coaching philosophy. Under Stephanie White, Caitlin has been asked to slow down her game, rein in her creativity, and adjust her natural style to fit a system.
Coach Stephanie White coming in as a brand new coach this season and kind of changing things up and wanting to play basketball a little bit differently.
That doesn't fully embrace her strengths.
Stephanie White has way too much control on what's going on. I don't give a fuck if she's the coach. She has way too much control. She got to back up off them rings off of Caitlin Clark, man.
We've even seen her benched after a couple of turnovers. Something that would never happen to stars in other sports.
Steph yanked me and she was like, this is like a learning moment. Like, you got to be able to yes, maybe it could have been there. Maybe you could have thrown a little bit better of a pass. Maybe they could have caught it. But do we need that in this moment? No. Right. And then she subbed me back in. And there was a play where I kind of got a steal and we're going in transition and Kelsey Mitchell just takes off down the middle of the floor. And so there's two people kind of by her. And I literally go to grab the ball and then I just dribble out. And I literally just start smiling so big. And I look at Steph and I told her after the game.
That better be on film.
Yeah, I'm you don't understand how hard it was for me to not throw that. And
who are given the freedom to make bold plays.
Throw her under the bus. Call it hero ball.
Fans worry that not only is she being mishandled in terms of health, but she's also being boxed in creatively, with the very things that made her a generational star being coached out of her. And when you add in the public perception issues, from reporters like Scott Agnes making comments that frustrate the fan base,
It's looking spooky in Indy. Got people in the media not being supportive to the fans.
The tens of thousands of people that show up to her games even when she's not there just to catch a glimpse of her. The thousands of people that went to watch her play golf. Branding those fans as basically the scum of the earth and a negative to the team.
To the lack of transparency from the front office.
Next season is going to be just like this season. Ain't nothing going to change. If there ain't no lockout, next season is going to be like this one. Unless Stephanie White chooses to quit. And I got a question too, bro. How the hell did Stephanie White get out of Connecticut? She was coaching there, said there was some personal issues, family issues or whatever, and then wound up in Indiana. Why ain't nobody question that?
You start to see a bigger pattern. This isn't just about whether Caitlin plays this week or next. It's about how the Fever and the league are managing their biggest draw and whether they're truly prioritizing her long-term career and brand over short-term wins and ticket sales. The truth is, fans aren't just mad because they miss seeing Caitlin Clark on the court. They're mad because they feel she's not being treated like the star and the person she is. When you have the most important player in the league, you protect her. You don't gamble with her health, and you don't play games with her status for marketing hype.
Scott Agnes says he's replying to comments being like, yeah, you know what, I was wrong in the generalization of fans, to generalize fans. And it's just nothing is public.
Right now, the Caitlin Clark injury situation is at a crossroads. If the several more weeks estimate is accurate, we're looking at a scenario where she might only have 6 games left in the regular season before the playoffs.
11 games left. It's only 11 games left this season.
And that's being optimistic.
3 regular season games before the playoffs, and she's not going to play 3 regular season games before the playoffs.
Worst case? She doesn't return until the postseason, or at all this year.
Caitlin Clark has not played a game since July the 17th. It is now August 12th. In 5 days, Caitlin Clark will be out a whole 30-plus days for a pulled muscle, essentially. Is it possible they sit Caitlin Clark the rest of the season?
Journalists coming out there and saying at least several more means if it's more than several weeks, she's done.
That possibility should alarm every WNBA fan because Caitlin Clark's impact isn't something you can just replace. When she plays, the Fever draws sellout crowds and national attention. When she's out, the energy shifts, the viewing numbers dip, and the momentum the league has been building all season takes a hit. But here's the real dilemma. Do you risk putting her back on the court too soon just to capture that spark again? Or do you protect her long-term health at all costs?
Maybe Caitlin should be out for the rest of the season. Maybe this season is just done for her. Maybe it doesn't make sense for her to come back into the mix if the Fever aren't contenders. Are the Fever contenders at this point? I'm just not so sure. Do you risk another injury that can again compound and turn into something else?
This isn't just about a groin strain anymore. Caitlin's season has been marked by a series of soft tissue injuries, from quads to groin, bouncing from one side of her body to the other. That's often a sign that the body is compensating for one injury and creating stress elsewhere. Returning too quickly could set her up for another setback.
She's had soft tissue injuries that have just jumped back and forth.
Potentially more serious than anything she's dealt with so far. And the timing couldn't be more dangerous. The WNBA playoffs aren't just regular games with higher stakes. They're an entirely different level of physicality.
Several more weeks puts you to about 6 games left in the Indiana Fever's schedule before they go into playoffs. And then if you want to talk about playoffs is a whole different ballgame.
Defenders will bump, grab, and body her from tip-off to the final buzzer. Every possession matters. Every point is fought for, and every star player is targeted. Throwing Caitlin back into that intensity after only a handful of regular season games, with no guarantee her conditioning or chemistry with the team is back, could be a recipe for disaster.
Man, she's going to be back to the playoffs. I think that's the setup. I think that this team is not good enough to win the championship, yo. And when she comes back, you better believe she's going to be limited.
Then there's the team dynamics. The Fever have been forced to adjust their identity without Caitlin, bringing in hardship players and reshuffling rotations. That means the style of play she'd returned to in late August or early September might be very different from the one she left. We've seen this before. When she returned from her earlier injury mid-season, it took time to reintegrate.
Caitlin starting full court running last week. Has she been able to do anything extra since then or return to practice at all?
No return to practice.
We still don't know when she will be returning to the court.
The Indiana Fever have literally just been lying to us. This is very much a concern. This is a big, big concern.
And opponents immediately zeroed in on her with aggressive physical defense. Fans also worry about the emotional toll. Caitlin's brand is built on joy, energy, and her love for the game. But when you're stuck on the sidelines for weeks, watching your team grind without you, and hearing mixed public statements about your recovery, it wears on you. And if the front office and coaching staff aren't sending a clear message that they have your back, that frustration can build fast,
This new style of basketball came because of Caitlin Clark, and it came from allowing Caitlin Clark to do the things that make her Caitlin.
This is why so many supporters are now calling for the Fever to prioritize her future over the present. Caitlin Clark isn't just this season's ticket. She's the next decade of WNBA growth. A rushed return that risks a long-term injury would hurt not only her career, but the league itself. And that's the irony here. The same people who should be protecting her the most are the ones making decisions that could jeopardize her.
Too many people want to see Clark play for her to be under Stephanie White, who's and sniffing coke. I don't know what she's doing. Always nose, always twitching. Maybe that's why she's always screaming and yelling. She be powdered up. I don't know. I'm just saying. I think this whole situation is weird.
Whether it's keeping fans in the dark for ticket sales, pushing game-time decision narratives to stir hype, or not giving her the system and freedom to play her best game,
she's going to throw some shade and make it seem like Clark coming back messed the offense up. Or you know how she is. She loves throwing shots at Clark, bro.
It all adds up to a dangerous game the Fever are playing. Caitlin deserves better. She deserves honesty, a plan that puts her health first, and the freedom to play the style of basketball that made her a household name. Fans aren't just saying, "Come back soon." They're saying, "Come back right." And if that means waiting until she's 110% ready, then so be it.
Would you like to see Caitlin just shut it down for the year, get fully healthy?
Because this isn't just about winning the next game. This is about protecting a generational player who can change the game for years to come.
We have some very concerning updates about Caitlin Clark's injury.
An Indiana Fever reporter just gave an update in a comment section on YouTube about when he expects Caitlin Clark to be back. Scott Agnes says he's replying to comments, have patience at least several more weeks.
The reporting around Caitlin Clark's injury, it is getting stranger.
At the end of the day, this is about more than injury reports and timelines. It's about trust. It's about whether the Indiana Fever and the WNBA as a whole will treat Caitlin Clark the way a generational talent deserves to be treated. Fans aren't asking for miracles. They're asking for honesty, respect, and a plan that protects her future.
And the Indiana Fever megastar, who is still out due to groin injury, is making waves in the sport. The GOAT, the one and only, Caitlin Clark continues to shatter, break records. At this point, she's just breaking her own record. At this point, she is only breaking her own records because she broke everybody else's already.
Not just the next ticket sale. Caitlin has already carried the weight of an entire league on her shoulders in her rookie season. The least her organization can do is carry some of that weight for her now, by making sure she's truly ready before she steps back on the court. So, to everyone watching, keep showing up, keep speaking out, and keep standing with Caitlin. Drop a 100% in the comments if you agree she deserves full health, full freedom, and full respect, because she's earned every bit of it.